Yeah. Stepping in the spot like she own it. Looking like the world is your runway. She can set it off like a gunplay. Oh my. Yeah. Talk of the city with that body. Always getting praised like it's Sunday. She said, baby, what you gonna do about it?
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Tribe Foolery, a podcast redefining sisterhood. We are happy to be back in the saddle. Once again, I'm Amanda.
I'm Shakira.
And I'm Candy.
I'm Tom.
And we are Tribe Foolery.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. Because it's International Women's Month, I wanted to focus today's episode on women, specifically Superwoman, and what that looks like to the tribe. So the title of today's episode is Superwoman Chronicles. And one thing I was thinking about was like there's so many like songs and things that are in media that talk about superwomen, right? You have like Alicia Keys. Who else? Sang it. Superwoman.
Yeah, when you thought about that song, I can't remember who sings it. When she said, "I'm not your superwoman."
Karen White.
That's my jam.
Okay.
You know, but I
That
got
is
some
my jam.
thoughts about that song because I feel like it's a little problematic, but that's a whole nother episode. And then I was thinking about what's the girl, Lil Mo, like baby. I don't know the words, but you know what I'm talking about. But like with all those influences and stuff. Before we get started, I kind of wanted to ask you guys, what do you or how do you define what a superwoman is?
Oh, gosh. I think for me, it's just doing everything you got to do and grinding and hustling as much as you got to get where you want in life. Because not everybody has the same ambitions. Not everybody has the same goals.
Facts.
So as long as you're pushing yourself and making sure that you reach the goals that you do have, that's where I think it lies. I mean, to me, being great in your own stature.
Do you feel that you're a superwoman though?
This is not that episode, okay?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I do not think that I'm a superwoman.
Why not?
I think when I reach more of my goals, then I can put in my head that, okay, I did that shit.
Okay.
But right now, I'm like, I'm taking baby steps to get where I want to get. And I want to take full leaps in this motherfucker. So...
Word.
Yeah.
What about you, Candy?
I think it depends on the mood that I am. What I think a superwoman is, because y'all know I always wanted to be a superhero. So we have
And an
that
assassin.
aspect. But yeah, definitely an assassin.
It has been her dream since childhood,
For
For sure,
and still
for sure. Yes,
to be a superhero.
But I think that outside of being a superhero, Superwoman is definitely someone who takes on burdens in general, not just your own. People that you love or care about. I think that a superwoman is a person who's willing to take all of that on and still be able to move forward in her own.
Are you a superwoman?
Ooh.
I have a tendency to try to save the world, but I don't think I'm that superwoman.
By her definition, and by what
Ooh,
she just
Shakira's
said.
face is like,
Is
baby.
she-
For those of y'all that
But
can't see,
we listening though. We listening.
it's the shade for me.
I think that a superwoman is someone who is in some aspect trying to save or help or assist or lend a hand or take care of or whatever the case may be to either the people in general around her or just the world, whomever is there and in need. But I do think that when I hear it, it has a negative connotation. It doesn't sound like, let's all be, like when we were kids kind of thing. It doesn't sound like, let's be superwoman.
Right, exactly.
In my mind.
To the
so,
rescue.
yeah, it just doesn't
And she definitely was my
sound
favorite person.
to me like a goal, like the goal.
Because it's a lot. Like when you think about it, it's a lot. And it's like, to me personally, it's somebody that like tries to do everything and tries to save the world no matter what their detriment is. And it's like, is that healthy? Like, it's and as an adult, it's like you think about those things now and you're like, dang, like was I tripping? Like, why am I trying to do all the things to save all the people and then nothing is coming back towards me? And
It's heavy.
Oof, it is.
It can be pretty heavy because I think if I'm doing all the things for everyone else to my detriment, then am I really helping?
Because you're not getting anything back for being a superwoman. And even when you think about the comic side of it, like with Superman, Supergirl, all of those people, they were doing things to the point of their own hell. Sometimes they died. And it's like, is it worth it? Mm-hmm.
That's why you gotta mix like superhero with assassin.
Oh God.
Which is another one of her childhood dreams. Or adulthood dreams,
superhero is it that's like a good guy but a bad guy too?
No, like you have people
Venom.
Like,
You're like Venom.
No,
he's an anti, almost like an anti-hero,
right?
Kind of thing.
And I'm not necessarily anti-hero because I do have my favorite actual superheroes, but
childish.
Harry Potter.
For sure. But no, like Tony Stark, I like him too. He's sarcastic. As like I love him. I love his
I did not know that.
all the way around. I love
have
Tony Stark.
learned
He's one of my
something new
favorites.
today.
I don't know these people, so it's okay.
You should definitely
my
know. We're gonna sit down
gosh.
and watch all the Marvel movies.
Look,
Disrespect.
she gonna make us watch all these doggone Marvel
Yes,
movies,
we
ma'am.
are.
I'm gonna need you to
have a
learn.
homework assignment.
Yes.
Look, I have a list of the chronological order.
I'm about to say, I know the
and
exact order that
the
it goes
list
in.
of how you should watch them.
No, watch them how you should watch them. Don't do it chronological. You need to do it how you should watch them. Just technically chronological through the years.
Kind of.
Because it's the years that it come out.
Yeah.
Like,
But there are some that, because you know how
they
Marvel
say to
does
watch
the,
these to understand the story of what the.
Now, if you watch the
We
years
got
that it
off.
came, the year that each one came out by the actual year that it is, you'll be able to.
Don't get her started.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I already know
You're
where
right.
this will
Rabbit
take
hole.
us.
You're
We
right.
already
You're
know
right.
where this
You're
will
right.
take us.
Okay, right.
But for sure, let's reel that back in. But definitely, like Deadpool though.
Oh,
you know,
you're more like that.
like
I can see that. I can see Deadpool.
Like Deadpool. I
can see
get
that.
it.
because I'm just saying, like
I can imagine
sometimes.
that.
Sometimes the overly good guys like to walk and appease the people that aren't so good. And my job is not to appease the people that aren't so good. Like, in my mind, fuck you. Like, if you aren't so good, why am I even listening to you? My goal is to actually try to save the good as a whole, not aren't so good or what your personal agenda is. And I don't care about that. So that's why I say superhero mixed with assassin, because I won't necessarily follow by those guidelines that the traditional superheroes definitely would have.
That's a good point.
But you know what? I wanted to bring back what you were saying about how sometimes it can be a little bit detrimental. So there's a saying that heavy is the head that wears the crown. But in this case, heavy is the back that wears the cape. And I wanted to throw this out to the group because, you know, I think it's really important for us to think about it, especially, you know, in this Will This Cause an Argument segment. Are we as women meant to be superwomen? Or are we conditioned to carry this load, or is it something that's self-imposed?
I think as Black women, we are conditioned to carry all of the loads.
All
Nothing
of the
against women of other races, because I know that they deal with their own things. But the difference between them and us is that with Black women, we are automatically strong from the womb.
Facts.
Okay? We are automatically taught to be strong. Don't depend on anybody. Do what you have to do. Hold down your family. Hold down your husband. Hold down all of these people. You are meant to do so much. And that is what we're conditioned for. That is automatic. Not to say that I don't like that, but it's also put out to society as well. So when we say that we don't feel good or something is wrong, doctors do not take it seriously like they should.
We're expected to be fine.
When we are bringing a problem to a judge or anything, we're seen as complaining, as if Black women complain. I have seen more Black women not complain
when
than
they should be
any other race.
in places where they should be.
Right, definitely.
Than any other race. It's sad because sometimes, and a lot of people are saying this right now, a lot of Black women are saying this right now, I don't want to be strong.
And they look at us crazy when we say it, because it's like, well, you're supposed to be, because it's like, and I like, for me in a corporate situation, like this has happened to me in a corporate setting. Some stuff goes awry, and it's like, so Amanda, nigga, bitch, I am not the boss here. Why are you looking at me to fix your shit? Because I didn't do it. Like, I am not your Superwoman. I am not
your Superwoman.
But it's so frustrating, because it's like, you guys, they don't realize how hard it is to like even try to take on that task. And it's like, you want me to solve it, but then it's like, okay, Black women technically are the saviors. We're the people that are voting. We're the people that are out here protesting. We're the people that are doing it. I'm not saying that men don't do it, but it's a lot of us out there. When we went to the George Floyd protest, it was like, granted, there were a lot of men and other races and everything, but it was a hell of a lot of Black women out here on the front lines, sacrificing themselves
On the regular.
And we just do it because we feel that we have to do it. It's out of just whatever, I don't know.
But the thing that I hate about it is that it kind of makes us hard too.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So like the emotions and stuff, just for me personally, like I don't allow myself to show certain emotions out in public or in a public forum, because I'm supposed to be strong at all times. You don't show nobody your weakness. Crying is a weakness. And
Can't even ask for help.
it's just sad. Like, you ask for help and people are like, what the fuck do you need help for? Figure it out. I saw a post the other day that said, oh, single people always bring up the fact that single moms or use being a single mom as an excuse. I was like, this is exactly why single moms don't say anything, and then they end up on the news and y'all wondering what happened. It was like, if they talked more, they would be able to get those emotions out.
Just give them the
I'm a little
space.
passionate
But
about
no,
this.
like, giving the space, because like for you two, you guys are both great mothers, and y'all shoulder so much stuff, and it's like, y'all the reason I don't have kids. I'm like, really? I can't do that.
Okay, I'm like,
I can't do that. Y'all got
I'm like,
this.
y'all do it well, but oh my God, I don't know if I could ever. I don't think that. Where do you find the time? The
Facts.
sheer time, and not just in the mothering section, but also to have this life, to make the vacations, to make sure that there are experiences, the birthday parties, okay?
Look,
And they both put their head down. The birthday parties are ridiculous, okay? But we all get in there.
because that's the tribe. That's us, to make sure that
They're
you
supported.
guys are supported.
Absolutely. They're supported. Anytime that you have us chaperoning, okay,
Dancing.
or you have us dressing up like, what's them girls' name?
Spice Girls.
Spice Girls and dancing. The birthday parties are ridiculous, but they're fun, and we get in there and we do what we got to do. But even looking at those moments, we get in there and we hustle. We make sure that all the food is there. We make sure all the food is prepared. We make sure that the kids are dressed. We make sure that the kids have fun. We try and have some fun with the kids so that we can say that so that we can say that we didn't just do the work, but we also enjoyed ourselves. And then we clean up everything before the night is done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So listen, it is a lot that goes into the Superwoman trope in general, outside of the fact that people have this perspective that obviously you should be able to take care of all of these things.
Because, baby, it takes a tribe. Like, people
Takes
really
a
think
village.
that the Superwoman
definitely
is just the
village
one
right.
person, but it really is the collective that makes it happen.
Absolutely.
And I don't think enough people acknowledge that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that with Superwoman, I think that a lot of times too, because y'all know I'm still always going to be down for trying to be Superwoman.
We know.
in things, in certain things, because I don't mind necessarily a challenge. However, what I have grown to learn, thanks to this one over here, that I should also accept that challenge, even when that means being a Superwoman for myself. And I think that a lot of people forget that. Like
lead
they
into
think
these
that,
next
well,
topics.
we start talking about it's a negative concept because we forget self. And I think that if we're a superwoman for them and for ourselves, it becomes a better balance because you still have to save you too in order to save someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't give from an empty space.
Right.
And if I'm constantly giving from this empty cup, baby, this cup gonna shatter.
Facts.
Okay.
So-
and then everybody gonna have to fend for
The
themselves.
thing that I had sent y'all that everybody didn't look at, but it's okay. It was
I did
but
this
Wim did.
morning.
So it was a clip from Love and Hip Hop, and let me phrase, Love and Hip Hop is a show that's on VH1.
I know it's what it is. I just never watched it.
Can you play it to the thing or no?
I don't know if I can play it, but let's see.
I'm tired. I'm tired of holding the fort down. I'm tired of making sure you're good. I'm tired of protecting you. I'm tired of holding your secrets. And what do? You treat me like I'm trash? You. That is not, I'm tired of it. I'm looking in the camera because I'm tired of it. For the black women that's out here, y'all treat us like we not. That's a daily reminder. And that's not cool.
So that was April from Love and Hip Hop, and I feel like that's a really good example of what happens sometimes when we're not supported as women and we don't have that community, because in that case, sis had taken it on. And if you know Love and Hip Hop, you know her story, and I'm not saying she was always the right one in it, but to have to shoulder being married to, because she was married to Omarion, right? Something like that. Whatever.
She
She was
married. I think I
but,
kids together.
but she had 2 kids by Omarion, and she was dating Lil Fizz, and you're dealing with all of this stuff, and it's like, how do you? You already know? Oh,
we'll do this another time.
We'll explain later.
well, yeah. She was in the band, yes. But what I'm saying about that is she wasn't supported, and like in this episode, I think this was the family reunion episode where she just broke because like Fizz had done something to her and that was it. And it was just like, I felt so bad for her in that moment because it's like, girl, you don't have anybody. And it's like, I'm thankful I got y'all, even though I don't have half the shit y'all have going on. Like, y'all have rescued me in some situations where it's like, whew.
Yeah, I mean, that's what having a tribe is supposed to be for. That's why I call you girls my tribe. I originally said y'all are my tribe because it's the strength behind the group.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that one? Look, I'm trying to go back to superheroes. You put all the rings together and it's like explosive.
Not Captain Planet. No.
I was saying, you
Or
talking
Power
about-
Rangers.
Sounds like that.
Either
Sounds like
Captain
that.
Planet or Power Rangers. It'd be like,
No, Power Rangers didn't have the ring.
oh, they had the belt.
Yeah,
they had the belt buckles.
So it was definitely Captain Planet.
I just,
She went
I
way
just
back.
really see this group as my strength. Deal with depression and mental health myself. Dealt with suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts. And I don't think that people realize like postpartum is a thing. And literally I became stronger within this group because I needed to lean somewhere. If I did not lean anywhere, I needed to lean on strong people that could hold me and I can still hold them too.
Yeah.
And I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with holding you guys. I'm okay with y'all holding me. And I'm okay being vulnerable with you guys because I know that you would never throw it in my face.
Yeah.
I know you would never say it out in the streets. It might get passed around the group, but that's okay because within us, it's fine.
It's a
Yeah.
safe
In the
space.
group, it's coming back to you anyway.
Right. It's
So-
like,
Because we're about to sit down and have this talk.
And I just think that, like, being a superwoman, you have to have your sidekicks or, the collective. The Avengers would not be the Avengers without each other.
I'm just saying. But they weren't sidekicks. They were all like superheroes.
Yeah, I know. I didn't say you wasn't gonna let it go.
Don't
I
you
didn't
mess
say
up
the
this
Avengers.
superhero stuff for her.
I was like, dang it.
I'm like, I watched all the movies too, except for the Hulk.
Yeah, I didn't see how the Hulk played into it, but
Okay,
I
but
did.
what
But
you
I
was gonna
did.
say, girl?
that's a my bad. Go ahead,
Besides
Candy.
superhero movies, ignore that.
rabbit hole. You know what? Let me get back to that. We're going to pass it on over because I went down that way.
I think I hate to say, but I hate to see that particular moment where it's all been piled on so much, and I've taken it, and I've taken it, till now I'm just kind of this broken dam, right? Mm-hmm. However, I said that I hate to see that moment, but I hate to say that I see that moment because sometimes we need that moment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that moment helps to put things in perspective, or even just give us this moment of catharsis where I'm allowed to wash some of the stuff that I've taken and
Thanks.
taken and taken. But I think that we all kind of come to that space where it's like, I've been doing all the things. I've been taking care of the house. I've been taking care of the family, whether that be your family inside your house or your family inside your house. Taking care of my friends as best as I can. And luckily in that space, I get to fall back. Like, I don't have to always be the caretaker. I get to say, I'm going to just go kick it with them and not have to have a responsibility included in that. It's the children, it's the partners, it's the work-life balance.
Yes, that.
It's all of the things. And then more when I step out into the world and I have this idea that the world has a perspective of me, that you're fine. You don't need anything. So why ask? She's a Black woman. She got it. So just being able to sometimes have that moment where I'm gonna step off to a moment with myself and cry about it.
And scream
or
about
even
it.
And scream about it. Yes. But even beyond, I have that moment where I come into a tribe, a group, my family, whatever, and be honest with what I'm experiencing and what I'm holding. And furthermore, where can I unload some of this? Okay. Who got me on taking some of this? We were talking about having 5 on it. Who got 5 on these dishes? Who's got 5?
Okay. It's necessary because one of the main things as women is that we tend to place ourselves on the back burner, especially when it comes to self-care and taking care of home. And I feel that as superwomen, when we take on that role, we do it even less because everybody else's stuff becomes for our own. So I read an article that talks about stress and the illnesses that can result from it. And I just wanted to kind of throw out some of the things that it can do, you know, especially with stress, because I feel like people don't think about it as enough. And I feel like stress is really a silent killer to us as women.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it was around the heart. Like, I was like, what the heck? Like, there's this thing called broken heart syndrome. I was like,
cardiomyopathy. I did a whole speech on it.
I was like, what? I was like, it's really a thing? Like, girl, high blood pressure, hypoglycemia, insomnia, stress-induced anxiety, depression, hypoglycemia, stress-induced inflammation, nausea, diarrhea, infections, irregular and painful periods. All of that can be from stress.
Yeah.
And it's like, when we try to hold on to all that stuff, it's like, hey, I feel like that's where we need to like dial it back, and as a group be like, hey girl, hey, you good? Hey girl.
And I also like bouncing off of that, I think what it is that sometimes we try to unload, we try to give it to somebody else, and it's not accepted. It's like throwing something that bounces right back off of somebody else.
Baby.
Especially if you're seen in a certain light, you're throwing something and people are like, yeah, you just got another excuse.
Or they're like, you're good, you're strong.
You got this.
You're strong.
You know how to do this.
Which we do that a lot though, right? I can honestly say that often it'll be you saying something, I'll be like, you got this, you're strong. Because we are that conditioned into feeling like
we got this.
You're strong. And it could also just be something that we're so conditioned in saying that we're not really taking the gravity of the thing. I feel like I'm helping, or my goal is to assist by reminding you that you are strong. However, right now you're telling me that I don't want to be strong and that I'm not strong right now. I need a place where I can lay these burdens, or I can lay my head, or somebody just to hear me. Just listen.
Yeah. Like, don't try to fix it either.
Yeah. Oh, I don't always try to fix it, okay?
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
My friend
However,
Bob the superhero.
Baby.
Okay, Candy the superhero.
Well, what can I do? Can I come back? What do we need to do?
Are we going to kill him?
Right.
Okay,
Well, I mean, it depends on what we need done at that time. However, but on that, when you were speaking, I definitely can say I completely understand that, though. During the time around the beginning of when her and I was forming a friendship when I worked in the jail, which in itself is just
stress.
Crazy.
Stress, right? I was also going to the police academy during the day, and I was
Working overnight.
working overnight, and in the middle of trying to go through a divorce. And a bad one at that.
And the kids during the day.
And yes, and the kids during
In
the
the
day. So it was a lot. And then for whatever reason, they decided to make me president of the academy, and that was another responsibility, though, because that means like on the time that I'm actually unwinding, I'm not unwinding because now everyone is calling me with whatever issues need to be addressed for the class or whatever we need to do as like on my outside time. It got to the point to where I think I came across, I think I told you an old video of myself, like with my dad, like we'll record and say good morning, sometimes like a video, and I would send a video back, and when your memories pop up, I look dead. I looked like I was pretty much dying, and I actually ended up in the hospital, fell out.
Yeah.
Ended up in the hospital because like I was constantly going and going and going and going until the doctor was like, you need to stop. Even though-
How did you carve out time for yourself then in that?
that I didn't quite carve out time.
I got out of the hospital running.
that part.
I laid in the hospital, and that was my rest.
That was
And
it. She
then
was like Tina Turner in the bed in the movie, like.
And now I'm back at it. Here we go. But I think what happened in that moment, like, yes, I did hit the ground running the moment I left the hospital, but I actually started thinking then I needed to figure out a way. How do I move forward? How do I do whatever? And the first steps that I was able to take not long after was moving out.
Yeah.
Like going through the divorce financially, like we were fighting over who's going to stay and who's not going to stay type thing. And to the point where I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to get a loan out and move out because I do need to eliminate at least one of these stressors that I'm having.
Absolutely.
And then from there, I kind of dove into my children and still lost myself. I was like overcompensating with them. Nobody asked you, woman.
I'm just saying.
I would overcompensate with them because I didn't want them to feel like they were losing too much.
Yeah.
So I was constantly, no matter what was going on, like any little teardrop, I was like right there
On it.
and then on it, and then I was losing me again. But I can say that this one here pulled me out. She pulled me out a lot because she made me look in the mirror, because a lot of times when I would say something to her, it was more so like, basically, the answer to these damn questions. Like, look, fix your shit is pretty much what she was saying. But she said it nicely. Like, she fix your shit. But she constantly reminded me, though, that I'm also important. My kids are important going through this, but I'm also important.
Yeah.
And I tell her all the time, there's a lot of things I do forget about that time frame because I guess I just
traumatic.
don't want to remember it, right?
It's hard.
So, and slowly as it came back to me, but throughout the time frame, she also gave me a space to talk.
Yeah.
And I did, because like normally with my cousins or friends or anybody like that, and I wouldn't necessarily say friends, because it's not that they didn't give me the space. I didn't feel like I could talk to them because I was always trying to uplift them, that I didn't want them to feel like they couldn't still come to me, so I wouldn't talk to them. And I think I ended up speaking to her because I damn near broke. I was at the point where I was about to go blaze of glory.
Not how we met, because we were both working in the jail, but
Yes.
it's definitely how we had a first conversation or a second conversation kind of thing, because we didn't have to really mingle in order to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all were there.
We were
All
there.
night.
And I was always in my book, Harry Potter books, reading, and I wouldn't talk to anybody. And I was having a moment, and I think I started that moment with complaining about my mom. And
I don't
not in a bad way.
remember.
It was about the Easter baskets. Not complaining in the
Oh
bad
yeah,
way.
that's how we started
I was
talking
being
when we were in
childish,
there. But
you
then
know.
that led to after work us standing outside for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Talking,
Okay.
because I let it
2
go.
hours, just trying to get out whatever was there in that moment.
Yeah.
And,
It's crazy, man. It's like having friends that you can do that with, but also like making sure you're carving that time out for yourself. Even now, like for me, like I'm y'all are so silly. I'm learning that I need to say no and be like,
yes.
I can't do that. I'm gonna be in my house. I'm gonna be a hermit. Like, no, I can't do it. And it's hard because I want to be there, but it's like,
Why you turn it away?
I have to say no.
Because you don't know how to say
And that's
no
a form of self-care.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's like, what are you guys doing now? Like, as you realize, as you know, grown from where we were as younger folks, but to now, like, how are you carving that time out for yourself for self-care?
It's a really good question. Not that
The
I want to
silence
answer. Not that I want to answer it.
Ain't nobody look.
Okay.
It's a really good question that I don't want to answer.
I think that what I've been doing lately for self-care, one, I have been practicing the word no. It definitely isn't easy.
I've been telling her that since that time that she just talked about. I'm like, you can say no. You should say no.
Yeah. And I'm slowly getting there.
Yeah.
And that was like a long time ago now that I think about it. But yeah, I'm slowly getting there. And sometimes when I say no, I have to like catch I'll go and I'll call her and I'll be like, I said no. Now I feel bad that I said no because now I feel like I should do this or should do that. But I call because I'm keeping myself sticking to taking care of me, right? Also, I've learned to sit back in moments and not always try to have full control over everything that's going on with my kids.
That's big.
Amen.
And that part
Very
is
big.
hard and
very hard.
hard. Because first of all, I don't like not being in control of anything in general.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I started practicing with my kids first because I know that as a parent, you're gonna have to grow to let go. Say give them because they are growing into their own people. And it's the hard part. It's definitely hard, but they are growing into their own people. And I realize when the more control that I want to have, but it's to take care of them, to protect them, I'm drowning myself in that.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking time for me either because I'm trying to live their lives and mine, pretty much.
Okay.
So
Chile.
I've been practicing on stepping back and allowing them to be the little people and the people that I'm trying to help them be better versions of myself. And in order
they're
to do that, I
awesome
have to
little
step
people.
back. I have to step from
They
that.
are.
They really are. They are.
Their
awesome little
characters
people.
is what they are.
And like we talked about this a little bit this morning, but you give them the opportunity to first show you what you're teaching them, but then also to become resilient people.
Yeah.
Become people who can handle difficult moments. And then they know that they have you. So it's like, okay, let them do it, and then they'll be able to come back, and Lord knows they will come back and tell you all about it.
Everything.
Every
And
little
you just
detail.
be like,
Some of it I'm not ready for. But I'm like,
My self-care
Shrinking.
is no self-care at the moment.
yeah, we working on that.
Look, you
Absolutely.
asked. No self-care at the moment.
And so what are we going to do forward? Like, we're going to have another episode after this. What are we going to do forward after this episode? Because we're going to bring this shit
because what
back.
do you want to
What are
like?
you doing?
What do you see self-care for yourself? Like, what would, if you could ideally have it? What do you?
I work 2 jobs. I take care of 2 kids. I cook home cooked meals on the regular. I don't have. You know what I do? I read.
You know what your
That's my
self-care is?
self-care.
But you could
That
be
and you about to travel.
Yep, you are about to travel.
I feel like that's a big step for you to like get out
yeah.
and not have anybody and just be on your
that you
own
have
and
to
doing
care
you.
for.
Honestly-
Y'all think that's self-care?
Well,
I think
no,
it
I don't
is.
necessarily think. I think that it can be self-care once you're in a different headspace. One thing I did learn, what I think that it's going to take time for anybody to do, that self-care starts, and the only reason I can start truly enjoying being out, or like, because I will be out with people and not truly enjoy myself because I'm beating myself up in here, right? So I think that it's very important to start self-care mentally.
Yeah.
Not the physical things that you can do for yourself, but the mental work that you can do. Keep pouring into yourself mentally. It's like you work in 2 jobs, right? You still, even though you're working, you have time to sit there and talk to yourself, but uplift yourself. That's self-care. You'll be able to uplift you in a positive way.
Yeah.
My sleep deprivation. If I start talking to myself, we gonna have conversations.
I mean, but you
and
might
I'm
have
gonna
some real-
invent people.
Well, hopefully
You have a
those
imaginary
conversations are
friends.
telling you
Look,
something
look,
really
I ain't
nice.
trying to
Hey.
feed you with a whole jury in my head.
The jury be on my side sometimes.
no.
You should. You should. Don't be smacking your
But-
lips. You should.
What are you doing for
You need to work on
self-care?
Me?
Yeah.
What I want to be doing for self-care, I really want to be doing more creative stuff.
Yeah.
I do. like my therapist and I had this conversation, and she got in my ass, and she was like, "So you doing all this stuff for money, and you out here shooting pictures and creating stuff for people, but when was the last time you did and shot something for you?" And I was like,
Well,
and she was like, "That's your work." She was like, "I need you to go back and shoot and create for you, not for anybody else.
Yeah.
Not because anybody's paying you, asking you. Do it for you." So I'm trying. It's baby steps.
yeah.
Baby steps.
Exactly, baby steps.
It's baby.
No,
but
ain't
but you
baby
have to
stepping. You
realize.
just
I
sitting
realize
when
it
it comes
too.
to self-care. You
Right.
sitting there. You ain't baby stepping.
There's a part where you have to
gotta
take
actually-
little steps
Right.
every day. Like even if it's not a lot. Like you taking a nap.
I'm not tiptoeing, but you know when you just kind of scoot
You ain't.
your feet.
Nah,
But you
that's
even
self-care.
taking
You
a
gotta
nap
do
for yourself, like when you have to take a nap for your lunch hour, like that's still a form of self-care to me, because you're still taking care of, because you could
Your
easily
body.
work through that and power through and do something else, but you're taking that time to be like, Shakira is tired, I am going to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's that's self-care, girl.
Yeah, I'll take that as a scoop.
See,
That I guess that's a
I
scoop.
be trying.
Girl, nah.
I don't
I wouldn't say all of
They
that. I
giving
said
you
that
the
you did a
scoop.
little
I ain't
scoop.
giving I'm not giving you a scoop because I feel like you can do more here.
In the mind. That's where it
That
starts. That's
doesn't
where it
take
starts.
active work. That's not active work physically, I should say.
I
Just in the
think,
mind, because we already here anyway, especially with the negative self-talk.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we
just
know for
reverse
sure
it.
that part is
Yeah.
going to happen. So at least
When it
having
happens.
the opposite happen mentally
Yep, rearrange.
is worth it.
Taking those affirmations
You
and saying
are
that.
hooked on this, bro. Rearrange, release.
So one of the things about that I really want to wrap it up, and this is something that's really dear to my heart. So I've been reading this book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap, and one of the things that he talks about is the superpower. And a question that I wanted to throw out to you guys, look at Will, because we were talking about this. What do you think your superpower is? And I'm gonna kind of redefine that a little bit. Or
Real
just kind of give you a little thing.
In real
I don't know.
How do you feel like you can bring that forward? Like for me, I'll tell you what my superpower is. My superpower is being able to put people at ease and making you feel comfortable when you are around me, whether it's in photography, whether it's in just kicking back. There's a sense of peace that I want to achieve whenever you're around me. I don't like chaos. I don't like none of that shit. I like it to be calm and peaceful, and let's all just sing kumbaya and have a good time. But I feel like whenever you're around me or people are around me, that's the kind of energy that I always want to put forth.
Yeah.
And I feel like I bring that in every place that I go to. So, what do you feel your superpower that's unique to you is?
She put it
Oh, I love how.
Or
I was about to say, I love how y'all both looked
they
at me.
did. They looked at you.
did.
I did this. I did
I
this.
thought it was more center. But
I did
okay.
this.
No, it was at you.
So I can't answer just because months, maybe a year ago, Amanda was sharing this with me, and I would share the same thing. I think that my superpower is allowing people to feel seen
Sure.
when they are in my presence. I don't think that it's something that I have mastered, but I do think that it is something through just being able to listen to them that I am able to offer. Not necessarily mirroring, though you might disagree, but just allowing them to feel heard, and then hopefully, and what I believe is to feel seen. I think that's my superpower.
Okay, we're gonna go to Shakira because I'm still thinking. I'm trying to figure it out.
So I think that my superpower is crisis management. Like that's where I thrive. That's where, in a job, in life, with friends, everywhere. When shit hits the fan, don't get me wrong, I take that moment to calculate everything in my head, and then I move straight forward. Like I try to figure it out. I try to make sure everything is accurate, and then I think that goes along with like my characteristic of just being a helper. Like it's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes, but if somebody comes to me, they have a problem, I want to fix it. I'm not trying to help them figure out how to. I don't know how to. I'm not trying to put it back on them like, oh, I don't know nothing about that. You go and fix that. It's more of, if somebody calls me with the question and they're in crisis, I'm going to try to figure it out. If I don't know it right now, I'm going to call you back and let you know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's just,
I wonder who else trying to fix it. Talk about me.
you try to fix everything. Everything.
No, that's your superpower.
If we're upset, you want to kill somebody.
Your superpower.
I said crisis management.
Baby.
If we cry, you want to kill.
And that is not necessarily.
I'm glad
so.
you brought that
That's
up,
where
'cause
your
I
mind
thought of this
goes
story.
straight.
So Shakira was having a crisis, right? And
Which one? I have a lot.
I think this is something super personal, but I don't remember exactly what was happening. I think I do, vaguely. Very serious issue was happening, and Shakira called us and we were talking about it for a moment, but she had to get off the phone because crisis management. And Candy was not on the phone. We were talking, so then she called Shakira. I guess she finds it out, and then Candy's like, well, I can't do anything about that. She was like, Wim, I don't know what to do. What do we do? I was like, first I was tickled because she was so genuine in this moment. She was like, that's not something that I could fix, right? And then she was very genuine, like, okay, so what do we do now? And I was like, well, we just be there for her. That's all we can do. We can just check on her and be there for her. That's it.
Facts.
So,
It's just a slight panic.
Candy, what is your superpower? Because, I mean, I could give you one because you don't be seeing your superpower.
So what do you see? What superpower
Okay.
do you see in her?
Give
Ooh,
her her
that's a good one.
superpower.
What do you
is
see in
that?
her?
I was
What's
about
the
to
superpower?
Okay,
Oh,
Go
say
ahead. What
it.
you think
No,
it is?
what's
Because I'm about to probably say some bullshit, but go ahead.
Is
What is that?
Go ahead, say it.
I think it's a combination of like two things, maybe. One is the protector,
Naturally.
because I feel
Like
like
we
if
just said.
you're mine, and that
Baby.
goes for my circle, my friends, like family members that I'm
Boy,
supposed to.
do we
You're mine. I'm like, I wish you would try them, right?
There's so many stories that just rush through my body right
Literally.
quick. Like,
But definitely, also, I don't know why this is. People feel like they can talk to me, especially when
Facts.
we're like out in public. Like you guys, I feel like, yeah, you're
Facts.
supposed to feel like you could talk to me because we are friends. We are here, and like that's the
Strangers.
space. But strangers have a tendency to come up to me, especially drunken ones.
at my birthday. That happened at my party.
That happened at almost every party.
Every party. Like I always manage to get the person who's going through something, and they come like, oh, she's over here in this corner. Let me,
Right.
like, go, like, hi, how are you? What's your name again? Because now I know your whole life
Who are
story,
you?
but
Right.
what's your name? Who are you? Yeah.
Ooh, child.
Yeah.
So
What does that say about you?
I don't know. Because
What
some
does
people
being
say,
the protector say about you? I'm gonna let it go. Go ahead, Amanda.
Because it's funny, like, you know, we could be in any state, whether we're sober, inebriated,
in the middle.
Or in the middle.
Little buzz.
And baby, it's like the protector will hop out. And it's so funny to me because it's like there was a situation at my birthday recently, well, now a house party,
Yeah, at the house party.
where someone had met
Yes.
a special person to me and was like, you heard I'm gonna bring the Kia. And I was like, just keep walking.
Just so y'all know.
Look, she was like, you heard I'm gonna bring the Kia. And I was like, wait, friend, wait, that what?
but I said it nicely.
You did, but still, we
She
was
thinks that's an improvement.
right. It was
I mean,
like,
it is an improvement,
But
but
what I used to do when I was like, you know what?
but we love you for that. Like, I'm not even gonna
Absolutely.
lie. I actually do love you for that. Like, I love that you're very protective over us, even when we have to remind you that we have friends outside of this circle.
that we are
But it's-
adults. As
you know,
well.
But I feel like I've gotten better with the
You
friends outside
have.
of the circle thing.
You have. Your face has
It-
a
for
little,
the people who
kind
have
of
brought
gotten better.
friends for her to be comfortable with.
But she
she's
did
gotten
talk, like,
better.
at our respective parties, she did talk to people. Like, she
That's
wasn't, you know, like, I want to talk to you.
Right. And there's a lot of prep work involved in that.
Yes.
But I'm going to answer that I asked you. I think that the fact that the people in need or who are having difficult moments gravitate towards you, and that also you are in Superpower. The protector says that in some way,
You're protecting
conscious
too.
or unconscious, you make people feel safe. Which is very interesting because
Is that what threatened you like?
we see the face,
Right.
Okay, there's a face, and then also there's a whole lot of attitude coming behind it. So it's very interesting because we know you so well. We know that listen, I am not looking for the people who are in need right now in that kind of way. But that they find you says that some way that energy is coming out and is reaching people to some degree.
Yeah.
I think.
They come to knock on your door, Inspect the Gadget. All right. All right.
Wow.
So me being me, I want to leave our listening audience with a little bit of homework. And that is just, and maybe it'll turn into another episode at some point. But, you know, in this whole Superwoman concept, you know, we're so used to doing. One of the things is that we need to learn how to receive compliments, how to receive help, how to receive.
That's a lot.
You know, just to receive in general and be receptacles and allow people to pour into us. So my challenge to you guys.
Can we pick one challenge at a
To
time? Because that was a lot
everyone.
you
My
just
challenge
said.
to everyone, the audience and the people in this room. Ooh,
And
hit
the
my mouth on
people
the mic.
in this room.
Practice receiving. Practice allowing someone to do something for you
Okay,
today.
I'll practice receiving. All right.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about dick. Damn it! I thought we was gonna get through an episode without talking about dick. Damn it!
Here we go being hopeful.
You know, I tried.
She is
Y'all
being
bring all the
hopeful.
foolery.
But she being
All
hopeful.
the foolery to this tribe.
I thought we were doing so well.
That was
She
hopeful.
said practice
Receiving.
receiving.
And you receive that, huh?
I receive that to receive it. Okay.
Receive the hell
You know
out of it.
what?
If it's thrown at me,
Y'all-
let me take it.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Not all of it.
Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the tribe. But I want to
Welcome to
thank
the
you guys again
foolery.
for listening to today's episode of Tribe Foolery. We want to thank you for listening today, and hopefully you got something out of today's episode.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Tribe Foolery, on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and we will be looking forward to seeing you on the next go around.
Also, tweet us with any questions or anything that we helped
Thank you.
with today. We love that.
And that's at Tribe Foolery.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
She says she need me like heartbeat. Drive me